Team wnax Deck Analysis with Dietrich.
How's it going, guys? Joe here. I just got back from the YCS in Philadelphia. It was a really fun event, and I got to meet a bunch of you. And surprisingly, during the main event, they dropped a ban list. So they brought Denglong back to 1, which adds some really cool combos you can do in the Swordsoul deck. I had a lot of people come up to me after the list dropped and asked me what the new combos would look like, what my list was looking like for Sword. So I'm going to be showing off a couple of the new combos, including Denglong. For the first combo, what you're going to start off with is Adhara and Emergence. What we're going to do is special the Adhara, then we can Emergence. Emergence is going to grab Taya. Then we're going to normal the Taya, use its effect, banish the Emergence here. Summoning a token. And here, what we normally would do is make something like Yugioh, or honestly, we probably even wouldn't have special this. We would have just like made Yugioh, discard this for Longyang after we search Longyang off the Yugioh. But in this case, what we're going to be doing is synchroing the Adhara Taya away. And we're going to be making Denglong. Now, Denglong has 3 effects, and they're all very good. The first effect, on summon, it adds a Yangzing spell or trap. The second effect is I can send a worm from deck to grave, and it will modulate its level, so it'll match level of whatever I send. So if I send a level 7, it'll become a level 7. And then when this card leaves the field, I can special summon a Yangzing monster from my deck. So what we're going to do is chain block. We're going to go chain link 1 Denglong to search, chain link 2 Taya's effect to send to grave. So we're going to be sending the Ashina, and we're going to be adding 9 pillars. What 9 pillars does is essentially Solemn Judgment, but it also stops monster effects. So when a spell trap or monster effect is activated, and you get the activation, you shuffle it back into deck, which is pretty cool. You have to have a Yangzing synchro monster, or I'm sorry, just a Yangzing monster in general, or Yangzing card. And that Yangzing card is going to get destroyed, so you can trigger something like a Chaofeng to search. And then you shuffle whatever you're going to get it back into the deck. So this is really good against cards like Theosis, preventing them from like banishing it later in the game or something like that. So we're going to add this to hand. Then we're going to activate Ashina's effect. Ashina is going to summon Shathana from our deck. And then from here, we're going to activate Denglong's effect to dump. We're going to send Moye. So this is now level 4. Then we're going to activate Adhara's effect, banishing itself to add the Ashina back to our hand. Then from here, what we can do is synchro the token and the Shathana, and we're going to be summoning Boxia. Now, from here, what you can do is you have a couple options. You can go Boxia effect, target itself, summon back the Moye. You can go Boxia effect, target the Denglong, summon back the Moye. It doesn't make a huge difference. In my opinion, I prefer to keep the Boxia on the field as your Yangzing monster as its actual follow-up guaranteed, because let's say for some reason you don't have to use the counter trap to prevent your opponent from playing. You can then on the following turn use Boxia, pop something, and then summon back the Taya, and that gets you into more of your synchro plays. But Denglong does have more defense points, so if it's matchup dependent, you want something that has 28 defense, there's nothing wrong with just keeping the Denglong on the field. But for this instance, what we're going to do is use Box's effect. We're going to destroy the Denglong, special summon the Moye back from grave, activate Moye's effect, reveal the Ashina, summon a token. Then we're going to synchro the token and the Moye into Yugioh. Chain link 1 Yugioh, chain link 2 Moye. We're going to draw a random card here, and then we're going to add Longyang. Then from here, we're going to activate Longyang's effect, discard the Ashina. Then we're going to summon a token. And synchro those away. And we're just going to make Sinister and then burn for 12. So essentially what this combo ended on, instead of being just a combo for 8 and a 10, we get an 8 and 10, Boxia, and the 9 pillars. Obviously we get the draw regardless. But yeah, definitely a little bit of a stronger board for the first combo. For our next combo, we're going to be incorporating one of my favorite cards. That's Vessel. And this ends on probably one of the most powerful boards you can do with like the Denglong stuff. So what we're going to start off by doing is specialing the Vishuddha. And then if you can see here, this hand essentially would make Chao Fang plus Xishao into Sinister. So we would get a 9, an 8, and a 10, or we could do the 2 10s plus the 8 line, which I did in the first video from a long time ago. But we're going to show a little bit of a different combo here. So from here, we're going to link the Vishuddha off, make Monk, bring it down a little bit. Then we're going to activate Vessel. And Vessel here, it doesn't necessarily matter which one you add and which one you send. I'm sorry, it matters which one you send. It doesn't matter which one you add. We're going to be sending Ashina regardless, but you can either add Adhara or you can add Shathana. If you expect the Vessel to be interrupted, sometimes it's better, if you expect the Ashina to be interrupted, sometimes it's better to just add the Shathana if you're going second, because this card can help get free value by its effect. So you link it into something, crash, and then you can use Shathana's effect to destroy something. So that comes up sometimes. But in this instance, what we're just going to be doing is we're going to add the Shathana. We can go Shathana effect to summon, activate Ashina, summon the Adhara from our deck. Now from here, what we're going to do is just synchro 5 into Denglong. And then from here, what we can do is trigger the Denglong's effect to add the 9 pillars. Then we're going to activate Emergence. Emergence is going to grab us Taya. Then from here, we're going to banish the Adhara, add back the Ashina. And you could ask, like, why would you not just go for Moye here? And that's because we are going to need Waxa in this combo. So from here, what we're going to do is normal the Taya, use the Taya's effect to banish, banish the Emergence, summon a token. And now from here, what we want to do is trigger the Denglong's effect. We can use Denglong to send something. And since we're already going to have access to another send off the Taya, we can just send the Moye here. Send the Moye. Then we're going to synchro away the Taya and the token, and that's going to allow us to make Boxia. We're going to use Taya's effect here, and Taya is going to be dumping an additional Adhara. So we already had the one that we used earlier, but having the additional one in grave is actually super important. From here, what we can do is, like I said from the combo earlier, if you want to pop a specific one, you can, but it doesn't make a huge difference. In this instance, I'm just going to go Boxia, pop my Denglong. And if you do play monsters summon off this, there are some good ones. The level 6 one, when it's destroyed by a card effect, it searches for the other counter trap, which is the Zephyrath card. So if you want to play something like that, feel free. I just tried to minimize on the bricks as much as possible. But yeah, we're going to resolve Boxia, summon the Moye. Moye is going to reveal the Ashina, summon another token. Then from here, we're going to synchro into Xishao. So pretty similar stuff, but the Ember is a little bit different here. We're going to go Chain Link 1, Chain Link 2. So once again, we're going to be getting our random draw as well as getting a search. So here's our draw. And here's Long Young. Then from here, we're going to activate Long Young's effects, discard Ashina, summon the token, synchro both away, make Sinister, burn for 12. Then what we're going to do is we're going to link the Monk and the Boxia. And we're going to be summoning out the Shaman. Now your zones don't necessarily matter because you don't play a whole lot of extra cards, but it can be good practice to put them in the zones such as here or here so they don't point to them Shaman zones. But just out of habit, honestly, the Relinquish Anima is pretty popular in the Purely deck, so that's just the habit I've been doing. But obviously putting it here is probably better from now on. Now, we're going to have our Shaman use its effect, and we're going to be discarding the random card that we drew off the Moye. Then we're going to be summoning back Boxia. So the restriction that Shaman has is you cannot activate the effects of monsters special summoned from the extra deck except for Tenny monsters. The cool thing about this interaction is Boxia, in this case, is summoned from the graveyard, so we can use Boxia's effect. What we're going to do is use Boxia's effect, pop the Shaman, and that's going to allow us to summon back the Adhara. Now from here, what we're going to do is synchro away, and we're going to make Xiaofeng. So that 3-card combo ended on Sinister, Xishou, Xiaofeng, and 9 pillars. And the really cool thing about this is when we use 9 pillars to destroy the Xiaofeng, we can add a tuner. So we can either add Ash, Veiler, Ogre, and you can even add something like Ecclesia if you wanted to, honestly, for follow-up. Speaking of follow-up, if you do have another card that you want to destroy off of the Boxia, such as like an Imperm, an Extra Vessel, something like that, keeping the Shaman on the field can be really beneficial because this allows us to bring back something like Boxia to summon back Taya, or we can summon something like Moye back in order to get the extra draw. So having the follow-up is important. It just kind of can be hand dependent. But yeah, essentially a 3-card combo ends on something like this. For the last combo of the video, I'm going to be showing off a combo that is not incorporated in the Denglong stuff, but it is kind of a cool combo. It's really powerful against decks that are very reliant on monster effects, so it was good against the Super Heavy deck. Obviously, the Super Heavy deck isn't going to be anywhere close to as good as it was, but this combo focuses on solely making monster interruptions. And you're not switching Blackout, instead of you're making an additional level 8 synchro. So what we're going to do is start by normal summoning Moye. Moye effect, you can reveal either one of these. I usually like to refer Ashina. Summon my token. Then we're going to activate Longing's effect. Discard the Ashina. Summoning out, move this over a little bit, additional token. Now from here, we have a couple options. We can synchro these away, we can synchro these away, we can use the Ashina's effect engrave, but I prefer to just make Sinister here. And we're going to make Sinister. And the cool thing about this is, like, for instance, if we were to get Nibiru, we would have enough resources, being the Ashina. The Ashina would summon the Adhara, and then we would be able to add back the Ashina, then once again resummon it, and make Shaman, and Shaman could bring back this. So if we get nibbed, we're able to at least put up some semblance of an interruption. So that's just the reason that I go for this before anything else. Then from here, we're going to use Ashina's effects, banish itself from grave, and we're going to be summoning the Shathana house. Now from here, we're going to synchro the token and the Moye into Xishou. This is the only instance that we're going to be chain blocking in a different order. So what we're going to be doing is making the Xishou Chainlink 2 and the Moye Chainlink 1, because it's extremely important that we do not draw the card that we're going to banish here. So we're going to be banishing from our deck the Blackout, and then we're going to be drawing a random card. Blackout's effect will trigger, and then we can summon a token. Now, I forgot to mention, you can always trigger this to draw as well. It doesn't make a huge difference when you do the effect to draw, but I'm just doing it in this instance. It doesn't make a huge difference. Then what we're going to do is synchro the Shathana and the token, and we're going to be making Draco Berserker. Then we can use the effect to draw an additional random card. So off that 3-card combo, we have this is 2 interruptions, this is a negate, and this is also an interruption. So 4 interruptions plus 2 draws off the 3 cards is pretty cool. But yeah, if you have any questions or would like to see the new deck list for the new format, please let me know down below. I really appreciate all of you guys' feedback, and I really enjoy doing these videos. Thank you so much.